Hi there, French Vinyl coming out in another video. And yeah, if you watch my channel, you may already have noticed I was talking about all the purchases I made 2 months ago. It's been a while when I took my big trip to Europe. So yeah, I did wanted to do several parts. Didn't want it to have a long, very huge video, 20 or 30 minutes long. So I already posted a couple of weeks ago a part one of my purchases I made mainly in France, northern eastern part, and Alsace and Germany. And in today's video, I will be reviewing the other part, so mainly the southern part of France purchases and Spain, yeah, because I took a quick trip to Malaga, a very beautiful place in front of Morocco, so very south Spain, and I found one record there. So without further ado, let's start with with the purchase I made in the city of Nice. So we landed in Nice before spending the time with our family and friends in Alsace. We arrived in Nice, French Riviera, a beautiful place. And it's interesting. The first record is a new discovery. This is First Came the Shadow, and it's very interesting. I made a live stream with Stunty. We have a channel called Disque du Pif. If you speak French, it's just live stream every Sunday. And I was asking the peanut gallery, sorry, if anyone knows about a decent or a cool record store in Nice, since I was flying to Nice, and someone said, hey, you need to visit Hit Import, a very cool place in downtown Nice. So I went there and had a very cool discussion with the boss, with Ludovic, a very cool guy, and he was playing in a store a CD of that band, and I have never heard of that band. This is as I said, First Came the Shadow. It's post rock. It's something I don't have a lot of thing in my collection. So very like deep ambient type of thing, if you know what I mean. And I didn't have a vinyl record copy at the store. I popped by during in the morning, but he say if you will come back a little bit later in the day, he will be receiving some splatter, some vinyl copies. So yeah, I was like listening 2 minutes of the CD he was playing in the store, and I was like, wow, it's really cool. It's like progressive. To me, it's progressive. But it's a local band. It's a new band. They come first came the Shadow, and I just wanted to support the local band. So this is, I think, their first or the second album they released. It's available on Bandcamp. First Came the Shadow. So if you want to just give a try, it's something, as I said, I don't have a lot of type of music such in my collection, but I really like. And I made my way to this second place called Evrlst. Evrlst, it's very interesting. I'll try to put some picture of those beautiful places. Evrlst is Rue du Lycée, downtown Nice, and it's very interesting. You have like a decoration, objects, furniture, art, obviously, and at the back of the store they have a decent section of vinyl. Pretty much soul, hip hop, electronic music. I think the owner, he wasn't there when I was there. I think he was busy in another place, and he was a DJ something. I think his wife or his partner, I don't know. She was on the store. She told me that, and they had really cool section of used copy, progressive rock, psych rock as well. And I had a chance to find copy of The Cure, Pornography. I didn't have a copy in my collection, and so I was pretty happy. This is an OG press from 1992, a French press, obviously, and I was on the lookout for a copy of this great album. And I listened to yesterday all that trilogy, composing Faith, 17 Second, and the last one, the Pornography, and really like all the three albums. I would say this one, the voice is probably more distinctive, and you can find probably more melodic songs on that one. If I had to compare, if I were to compare the three records, which are Faith, Pornography, Faith, 17 Second, and Pornography. Of course, 17 Second, I think they lost a keyboard player who only play on the first one, if I'm not mistaken. And so yeah, it's it's must have. It's the Cure. It's the trilogy. The trilogy series of records. So this is really cool. I'm really happy to have found this one. The next one is a local band. I found 2 albums of that band, and it's really cool because I was in France, so I thought, okay, now I'm in France. I will maybe focus on local stuff, some bands I could find maybe a little bit more easily in France. And Ange, I often talk about progressive rock in my channel. I didn't have a lot of Ange on vinyl. I grew up with that band. My father was crazy about these guys. For those who don't know about this band, they were local. Yeah, I was born in northern eastern part of France, and they were formed a couple of miles away from there. So in the eastern part of France, in Franche-Comté. Yeah, they were like the local bands, and they one of the few who survived through the decades. Probably Magma and Ange, they survived through the decades, probably because both bands had a leader with a very charismatic, strong personality. They were 2 brothers at the beginning, the brother Descamps, Francis and Christian Descamps. Now he's played with his son, I think, yeah, and it's typically, this is a band, found 2 records. Au-delà du délire, that's one, and Guet-apens, typically mid-70s progressive rock. They were nicknamed the French Genesis. I think they are a bit more than only the French Genesis. Yeah, they were formed in '69. Christian Descamps often mentioned 666, Aphrodite Child, and King Crimson as a massive source of inspiration. This would be a little bit more folky in my book, Au-delà du délire, with Mellotron, released in the early 70s, and this one a little bit later, 76, 77. The sound of the keyboard evolved, obviously, if you know about your progressive music, but both are very interesting. Yeah, I was lucky I could find this original pressing, French press, obviously, and it's very clean. Both copy I paid like €15, so roughly $16, so to say. So I jumped on that occasion and I took it back home. And yeah, I made my way on the last store in Nice, a very cool place called Sonic Vinyl. And yeah, the thing is, I was looking for someone with because I had to send a VCLT to a good friend of mine, to Joseph Isola, and I was looking for some box, and the guy was very cool. He offered me to send the record through his service internal, Mondial Relais. So very nice. I paid €5, so it was really cool. He sent me so he offered me to send the VCLT for me to my friend. And he had a nice store as well. So I was like flicking through the bins, and yeah, I found another. Speaking of French prog, I found another interesting album. This is Atoll. This is a French band as well, and it's very interesting. They were also from the northeastern part of France, not the same place as Ange, and not the same place exactly where I come from. A little bit, I would say, on the other side of the Vosges mountain, in Metz, very close to Luxembourg. And yeah, it's very interesting. They formed. I think they made up in a train on their way back from Paris, because as you know, back then you had if you wanted to have a big career, or if you wanted to have great chances to make a career, you had to go to Paris. And I think they had an appointment for a project that was cancelled, something. So they met up in train, and they formed Atoll, André Balzer, and I think Michel Taillot. Yeah. So and it's interesting. It's French prog. It's a little bit later, 70s prog. So keyboard driven, obviously, but it's still interesting. It's not I cannot really compare with any British or any English band to give you a reference, but it's it's typical mid-70s Prague. So this is it for the French purchases in the south part of France. And as I said, we made with my wife. We take a quick trip to Malaga, to Spain, a very cool place, and I was always on the. It's always nice to find some opportunity to find some exotic music, local music, and I was looking for local music there. And it's interesting. A small store he had. I will try to put a picture of that store. They had mainly used books and vinyl records as well. Didn't have a lot of local stuff, Spanish bands, or as I would like to find. Though I found this one. So this is it's a UK press I found in Spain. So can you believe that? Adam and the Ants. Paid nothing, paid maybe €10 or something, and that's the classical early 80s punk. Well, it's not that punk. It has more pop element, a little bit of glam rock element. It's very joyful. I think they wanted to explore a little bit more the pop maybe aspect. So and this is why I think they disbanded many not very shortly after the release of that record. So this is Adam and the Ants, Prince Charming. So this is the only copy I found in Spain. So hope you like it. This is it for all the purchases I made during my trip to Europe. If you haven't watched the first part of it, so I will just put a link in the description. That's mainly German krautrock, budgie records I found. I just recently, as I said, made a video about that. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for next chapter. Bye bye.